Hello, this is Stephen Nichols. I'm the Director of Business Development for Mission Critical Systems, a SharePoint development company based here in Denver, Colorado. And I have a video for you today, a quick video. It's going to talk about how to use forms in SharePoint with content types, or how to have those standard template documents that everybody has, and how SharePoint can be used to manage those templates. I'm going to go into an example that I have. This is a pretty standard document library I created to manage all the documentation that goes along with projects. You'll see I have a couple of custom metadata fields I've created, or columns. Project document type, client, project manager, and project title are listed there. And I'll go into quick edit mode to show that these are drop downs and that this is just a single row of data that I am able to edit freely like that. So it's a standard document library. The big difference is that I've associated a few new content types with this document library to allow me to get access to all of my templates. The way I'm going to get to those templates is click on the File tab, and then under New Document, I can choose each of the templates that I've created. I have Project Completion, Project Charter, Project Plan, Project Risks, and Project Status Report. I'll use the Project Completion template for this example. That's going to open up Microsoft Word, and it's a regular version of Microsoft Word, of course, except that you'll see at the top of the screen there's an area for metadata. This metadata Microsoft Word, or column data in SharePoint, I can use in several different ways. So I'll type in some data. Project title is going to be Edison Telephone. The project manager is James. The client is going to be Eyebrows Incorporated. And then completion is the type of document that it is. And I can close out that window once I'm finished editing those metadata properties. You'll see at the top of the document, however, that in the header, I've added places where that metadata automatically populates into the document. So under project name, you see Edison Telephone, client is Eyebrows Incorporated, project manager is James, and that's the date too. That information is all coming from the metadata, and it's going into the document. So this is an example of how you can use SharePoint and Word, of course, to be able to enter data once and have it populate in several different places. So if this were a live example, I can go through and fill out some information here for the report. So complete, none, issues and challenges, nothing, and lessons learned, I learned stuff. And then when I want to save the document, I just hit save, and it goes back into the same document library that we were just looking at a second ago. Now, of course, naming conventions can be unique to each company. I'm just using a random string of characters, and that's going to work fine for me. I'll refresh this document library, and you'll see Edison Telephone is down here at the bottom, and that the data that I entered into the metadata field not only populated the document, it also populated the column data when it was loaded back into the document library. Because I have James, client, project document type, that kind of thing. So that data can also be used in several different ways. I can take this data and I can pull it out of the document library and put it into a database to make things like graphs and charts and reports and other ways that information could be more actionable. An easy way to do this is through Excel, but of course there are more sophisticated and automatic ways too. I'll just wait for this to pop out. I could also have the data flow the other direction. That's kind of a common request for us, where they want a person to fill out a web form, and when they complete that web form, for it to create a Word or a PDF document as a record of the completion of that data, or that submittal of the information. And that way it's already in a database form, and you can create your charts and graphs and bars and all your business intelligence reports. I can also do things like workflows. So, for example, maybe I want, when a completion document to be submitted, I would like these 4 people to be notified of it so they can review the completion document, or I want it to be sent perhaps to the client portal page, and that kind of thing can be handled through a workflow. And the other option, too, for this, of course, is that it would be the templates probably are uniform throughout all of the projects that the company might manage. So you may have a company doing 30 projects per month, and you don't want to go through and create a new document library for each one of these with a whole new set of content types, and that can all be handled through creating a template essentially for a new project management site. And I have an example of that here, where I have a timeline there, and then also the data, the documents that are associated with this timeline as well. So there are a few ways to extend that. I'll go through and I'll talk really quickly about how to do one portion of this process. I'll say that the entire process took me about let's say an hour or an hour and a half to put together, which is pretty quick if you consider it for a custom solution. And of course, you have to do it once, and you could reuse that several times or many different times for each of the different projects that you would have coming up. But I won't go through all of that, of course. I'll just go through one portion of it, and that's going to be how do I get this metadata into my Microsoft Word documents, because that seems to be a great interest to a lot of people. So the way to start with this is you're going to want to start by creating the columns the way that you want them. So in this case, I have project document type, client, project manager, and project title, and those are all custom columns. For your document library, you'll first of all open up the library and then click on Library Settings, and that's going to take you to a place where you can add that information. Give it a name, choose the type of column that it would be, if it's a lookup or a single line of text or what it would be, and then fill out some more information and click OK, and that's going to create the column title, or the column listed there too. Once you finish with all of your column titles, and wait until you finish with all those column titles before you do this, then you'll go into Files, go to New Document, and choose just the Document option. What that's going to do is open up Microsoft Word, and it's going to have that metadata column, metadata field, I guess, or area at the top of the document like that. So from here, I can go through and create things like Project Manager. I can type in and create my document as I normally would, using whatever editing tools I'd like to have within Microsoft Word. And then when I want to insert who the project manager is, I'm going to go to Insert, Quick Parts, Document Property, and then Project Manager. When I want the document title, I'll go to Quick Parts, Document Property, and Title. And that information is going to fill through there. So you'll notice, of course, that if you open up Microsoft Word without doing the step of creating it in SharePoint first, then if you go into Quick Parts, you're not going to see Project Manager, for example, because that's a custom metadata field that we just created a second ago. So we have to have, you have to go through that process before you can start to use those fields within the document. Now you can reuse these document properties as many times as you'd like throughout the document. It could be a 200-page document. You type in the project manager once, and it populates throughout the entire document. And that's all inherent in Microsoft Word. When you're finished creating the document template the way that you want it to look, what you'll do is you'll save that first to your desktop, and then when you create your content type, grab that file you just created and pull it in as the template document for that content type. And that's covered in a couple of the blog posts that we have, and it's a little more involved process, so I won't go through all the details here. But if you do that, then you end up with this nice set of content types like I've created right there. So that's a quick and dirty way of using content types to have templates and manage templates within a document library in SharePoint. Of course, I'm Stephen Nichols, and I'm the Director of Business Development for Mission Critical Systems, and we'd love to talk to you about all your SharePoint questions and needs and training or whatever might come up for you guys. But in any case, best of luck to you, and good luck with everything SharePoint. Thanks.